Hey, so my name is Mehow. I'm the CEO of Matterify, and it's interesting that I am going. Ooh, I got a little toll. There we go. Okay. It's interesting I'm going right after the infrastructure panel because we solve a lot of the problems that were mentioned in infrastructure. And generally, people think, and I'm going to preface this, that I first did this talk at Davos like 3-4 months ago, and I had 10 minutes. And that's how I met Gaurav from TDeFi. And now I have 15 minutes. So I'm going to go. I got 5 minutes extra at every conference. So I'm going to go kind of fast. And if you had a question, just raise your hand. We'll try to answer it right at the end. All right. So people have generally thought that we've solved security. That security's done. We can't possibly improve. It turns out that we haven't solved security, and there is a lot of interesting things we can do to make it way, way, way better. And that's what we've done. So we've solved a lot of problems in liquidity. So let's go. So our whole premise is that we cryptographically secure every transaction and every device. And the easiest way to explain what we do, you know how in like Bitcoin, you have to whip out your private key in order to do a transaction, right? In our system, everything that you do is done with a private key. So say you have a balance that you want to transfer from one account to another account at, say, Bank of America. You do that with our system with a private key. Now, why would you want to do that? Slides. Can you just go to the next slide? There we go. All right. So why would you want to use decentralized security? Well, there's no usernames and passwords. It solves both authorization and transactions. So we always know that it's you doing this transaction, and we know exactly what transaction you're trying to do. Additionally, it can't be phished, theft, or frauded, right? We have servers that can't steal money from their own users, which is a pretty awesome breakthrough. It allows for best-in-class KYC AML, and it allows for KYC AML on-chain, which I'm going to show you. As far as I know, we're the only company on earth that's doing KYC AML on-chain, which creates really, really good liquidity, solves a ton of infrastructure problems that they were just talking about on the last panel. And it's universally applicable, and it's super fast and allows for automation of your entire business. So the security market's a really huge market. And it keeps growing, and we keep knowing that we failed at security because of all the thefts and hacks and everything else that keeps happening. So Quadriga CX, Mt. Gox are all things that our system makes impossible, right? So just from our architecture, we instantly eliminate half of the security problems encountered in the wild today that happened as soon as last week. Okay, so that's our slide about that. Okay. There we go. All right. So in the world today, we just had the Fireblock guy actually up here, which is interesting. He's in my deck. But we have a lot of different solutions that are all focused on one problem. But it turns out that all these problems that I'm talking about here, which is digital custody, security, legacy integration, regulatory compliance, can be solved with one system, which is the system that we've built. That system, the reason it can do that and other systems couldn't is that in our system, everything is based on cryptographic proofs, either on-chain or off-chain, okay? So we do everything with one piece of software. And we call it MatterFi Open Transactions Engine. This is a project that's been going on. I've been working on it for 4 years. And one piece of software does the fintech, the Web3, the authentication, the messaging, the governance, and whatever custom functionality that you want in a particular business. So here's our ecosystem. I'm going to talk about the two things on the left. So first thing you need in an ecosystem is an easy way for the users of a business to transact with the business, right? So we call that a secure access application. In crypto, that's a wallet. But our wallets don't just do crypto, they do everything, right? And additionally, you want a hardware device that will hold that private key. So in our case, we have one of those. It's actually in my pocket, other pocket. So we custom make these hardware devices for our customers. So if you're an ecosystem, you're gonna have your own wallet, your own secure access application. But to make all this work, we have to solve a lot of usability problems. So the first one I'm going to show you is pretty mind-blowing. Oh, other way. There we go. Oh, no. Okay, so you know how in crypto right now to send and receive, you have to give somebody your receiving address, right? Everybody agrees with me on that? And when you give them your receiving address, what ends up happening is they can take that receiving address, look it up on chain, see how much money you have. And you have to do this for every chain separately. And if you want to return some money now, you got to go talk to the counterpart and be like, hey, you sent me too much crypto. How do I send it back to you? I need your receiving address. It's all really clunky. And what we'd like it to do is work like Venmo. We'd like it to just be, hey, I can just send you and receive, and I don't have to worry about all the implementation details as a user. So we invented pay codes. Our team invented BIP47, which was pay codes for Bitcoin. And now we made it work for all the different currencies. So if I post my pay code on my Instagram and just say, send me any crypto, I am mathematically guaranteed to receive all the crypto. And no one else knows how much crypto I received. So this is the first ever system that lets you use crypto like Venmo. Like literally just the QR code. But this thing has additional properties. For example, you can KYC AML all your counterparties, even in a completely distributed system. So me and you can transact and we know each other's identity, but when people inspect the blockchain, they had no idea that we transacted or what our identities were. So think about that. It means that an institution can be fully on chain and KYC AML whoever they want, and now they can provide liquidity to atomic swap, on or off chain ecosystems, or smart contracts. So you've got full privacy. Another corollary is secure worldwide chat, and you got human readable addresses. So that single payment code that a user has can be mapped to a name. Like my name is Mehow, so I could register Mehow. This is my payment code. And actually, that's what I'm doing in the Casper wallet. This is one of our customers. So in here, you'll be able to register your name and then just receive crypto. So let me go back. Back one slide, guys. There we go. All right, so far I've talked about the stuff on the left side of the page. Over here, we've got our multi-sig nodes, which is a custody system. So far, everything I said is on-chain, right? But we also want to be able to transact off-chain. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, if you think about it, most of crypto actually exists off-chain. Like, what's Coinbase? It's an off-chain system, right? But they wrote it. And when you give your money to Coinbase, you have absolutely no recourse whatsoever. That's their money until you beg them back for it, right? There's no cryptographic anything. They just have your money. If you give your money to Fireblocks, which is the custody system for most things, it's the same thing. You just gave your money away, right? And you hope you get it back, and you hope you trust the custodian. Whoa, we went too far. There we go. Okay, so why would you want to execute stuff off chain? It's because it's fast. There's no transaction fees. It executes any business functionality. And the way we do it is with chips inside of hardware servers. So you have these secure enclaves that run in a pure multi-sig mode. Okay, so what does that mean? Right now, if you give your money to a custodian, you're probably storing your money in a single key. And somebody's got a backup of that key and they may steal it. And in fact, that is a way that crypto gets stolen off chain all the time. In our system, there is no single key. Here is how a user would interact with the system. So this is an ecosystem of, for example, a banking app. I'm going to use Exchange as an example. So user wants to get on an exchange. They download the wallet. They set up their payment code. Now they're going to send money to the multi-sig pool. What they're doing is they're sending money to a payment code that is KYC AML. So they know this is the exact entity, can't be phished, theft, or frauded. And that money goes into a pure multi-sig pool, meaning the funds are stored by an X out of Y system of servers. So say if you got 7 out of 11 servers, now the hackers have to break into 7 out of 11 chips inside the servers. That's a really tall order. Why do I know that? Because I used to do this for a living for the government as a hacker inside the Beltway. So I made something that I couldn't break myself. And that's why I'm really proud of this work. Right? So, okay, now I have my money inside my exchange. And here's a huge, huge mind bender. Now what I'm going to do with the same Access app, the same wallet that I just showed you, is I'm going to execute that exchange order with my private key. and I'm going to get a cryptographically signed receipt when I do that inside my wallet, which now means that the servers can't steal my money. So just right there, we've solved half of security. No longer possible for the servers to steal money. In fact, the only way to steal anything from the system is to break into 7 out of 11 chips. But the chips all are running automated smart contracts that are executing your business. Here comes the automation. And because they're just listening for private key signatures, they know it's always you. They know exactly what you want to do, and they're just going to execute it on your behalf automatically. Right? So no more admin infrastructure or approvals or any of that. It's just not necessary. You don't need a username or password. Right? So I'm going to authorize an exchange, say, for Bitcoin Cash or an NFT off-chain. And now in my wallet, I'm going to see my balance chain. In our wallet, there is an on-chain balance, and there is also an off-chain balance. So on this particular exchange, I got these balances, and I can trade between them, right? And then when I want to withdraw, another piece of magic happens. I'm going to sign a withdrawal with my private key, so the servers automatically know it's me. And then they're going to vote multi-sig to release the money. Why? Because they've all received the cryptographic proof that it's me trying to withdraw the money. So why is this cool? It's an HSM secured pure multi-sig, no key reconstitution system. Okay? Uses payment codes for privacy and KYC AML, and it fully crypto automates the entire businesses. And it works with on-chain contracts. So you can have a hybrid system where some of your ecosystem's running on-chain, but say you don't want to pay all those transaction fees and you want to just run on servers that are super secure. That's what this does. All right. I feel like my relationship with the remote's going to improve over time. So this is just a slide about what I just talked about of the different applications of on-chain or off-chain. But it turns out that with payment codes, we can do even more. Really cool stuff. So we have a worldwide atomic swap system. So how many of you are familiar with atomic swap? Just raise your hand if you know atomic swaps. Nobody. Okay, great. So atomic swaps are when you're trying to trade two similar pairs. Normally what would happen is me and you, sir, we want to trade Bitcoin for Bitcoin Cash, right? So we will both sign a transaction, and it's a two-way transaction. When I upload that transaction on the Bitcoin chain, I send you Bitcoin. When I upload that transaction the other way on the BCH, I receive BCH. And now we've done an atomic swap on two similar chains. There's a lot of limitations with that, though. You have to have similar chains. You can't trade an NFT for Ethereum. You can't trade crypto like BCH or Litecoin or eCash. There's a lot of the stuff that we support for a Casper NFC token, right? In our system, you can enable it so that you have worldwide atomic swap between any two pairs, and there's no custodians at all. And it works with KYC AML. So now you can have Morgan Stanley join your peer-to-peer network of traders, and they, for their trades, can require that they know what your identity is. But the identity is truly decentralized. You, the user, have it. Right? And you can choose to reveal it or not. But if you're transacting with Morgan Stanley, they're going to make you reveal it. They're going to say, we're not going to transact with you unless you show us who you are. And so we support that. It creates a ton of liquidity, works with NFTs, and it's KYC AML compatible. Hey, and then our hardware card is also a Visa card. So you can have in your business a custom wallet that you give to your users that also works over the Visa network. So this is something that we're going to roll out next year in Europe, but it already got approved by Visa, which is really great. All right, let me go. Next slide. Cool. So the system is applicable to any environment. These cryptographically secured servlets are essentially smart contracts, aka code that run on chip enclaves. And when they run in those chip enclaves, they can execute whatever business logic you want, right? So if you're an exchange, no problem. If you're a bank, no problem. If you're a real estate company, no problem. If you're NFT mint, game environment, this particularly works for gaming as well, and financial institutions that are government-based, because it lets you process all this stuff you used to process in servers insecurely, now securely with automation. Fire your employees, no big deal. Next slide. So here's our ecosystem. The engine is what I've been talking about the whole time, and it's our instantiations or the Matter codes, which is the payment code tech, the wallet itself, which is our secure access app, the Matter node service and custody, and then there is a chip. And the chip, the first version of the chip is inside this wallet. but we are making 2 more. One goes inside the servers and another one goes inside other Trezor Ledger type devices. So as a business, you can actually go get your own white labeled branded Trezor Ledger device that we will make for you. It'll be a Matterify device. And it supports the functionality that your business wants on top of all the features I just talked about. All right, keep on going. This is our roadmap. We've finished all the stuff on the left side. We're about to release all the things on the right side. All right, next slide. How am I doing on time? How much time do I have? What, was 0, you said? A little bit. Okay. I got 3 minutes. So we have a lot of IP. I've written 6 patents so far. We got about 10 more to go. And the reason is that no one's done this before. So it's a place where we can innovate a whole lot, right? Next slide. This is our team. We're about 22 people right now. Some of you may know the folks up here. And Chris, it was the original inventor of the technology. He's my partner, along with Justice Ranveer. The project used to be called Open Transactions, and this is the commercial version of it. All right, let's keep on trucking. Here's our current customers. Casper's probably the most well-known project, and now we're starting to get into enterprise customers because you don't have to be on chain or in crypto to use our tech. It just makes everything more secure and easier to use. All right, and that's it. That's the thing. So I can take a question or two, and then I'll be done. Awesome. I think I did that in 12 minutes. All right. Any questions? We are raising. We have a booth over there. So if you want to come talk to me about the project, I'm going to be around for the next few days. And thank you very much.